What up, fight fans? Main man, made man here, back at it. Y'all know how I get down. We talking boxing. All right, check it out, y'all. A lot of people, I think, must have misunderstood how I felt about the media's newly crowned pound-for-pound champion, Roman Gonzalez. Chocolito is his name. Now, there's news breaking out that his basically primary rival at this point, Juan Estrada, would love to have a rematch with Chocolito, especially since Chocolito was granted by the media as the #1 pound-for-pound fighter. Now, in my video, my last video that I did about Roman Gonzalez, I stated that I cannot put him #1 pound-for-pound because the man has never unified. And I got a bunch of excuses on that video. You guys can go back and check and look at the comments. A bunch of everybody saying, oh, he's ducking this fighter. Oh, that fighter is ducking him. This fighter is ducking him. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have clear and evident proof right in front of us. Juan Estrada wants to rematch Roman Gonzalez. And in this particular fight, it would be a unification match. Now, we know Roman Gonzalez defeated Juan Estrada back in 2012, but that was one hell of a fight, man. I mean, I just got finished watching it roughly about an hour ago, and I'm waiting for my goddamn blood pressure to come down right now. I was just hyped up the whole goddamn entire fight. That was a hell of a fight, man. And I'm going to tell you like this. This is something that you guys may not even agree with. But whatever the fuck, I gave that fight to Juan Estrada by 1 round. There's an article out today on Boxing Scene in which they're bringing this question to Roman Gonzalez. Will he rematch Estrada? Given that Estrada now holds 2 titles. I repeat, 2 titles at the flyweight division, at the 112-pound division, in which Roman Gonzalez holds the WBC, Juan Estrada holds the WBA Super World Flyweight Championship and the WBO World Flyweight Championship. 2 titles. And yet Roman Gonzalez has 1. And if these guys was to fight, this is the unification match that I think, if he wins, would solidify him as a possible pound-for-pound champion. Now, if you go back to that first fight, y'all, I mean, goodness gracious. You know, when you watch that fight, you have to look at that fight for very, very fine points throughout the round. This is the only way you're going to be able to determine the winner, because it was a hell of a fight. It was such a back-and-forth fight. I mean, the way I scored it, honestly, I gave the first round to Roman Gonzalez, but however, I thought he lost the next 3 rounds. Then after that, he won the next 3 rounds. Then he lost the next 2 rounds. And then he won the next round, and I gave the 11th round a draw, and in that 12th round, I gave it to Juan Estrada. And I thought Juan Estrada edged the fight out 5 rounds to 6, with the 11th round being a draw. That's how I scored it. It was a hell of a fucking fight, man. I mean, Juan Estrada showed great footwork in that fight. I thought the X factors were Juan Estrada had great footwork. He countered very, very well, and he showed a very, very good stamina rate. And I thought Roman Gonzalez, of course, you know, his work rate was incredible, as it always is in most of his fights. But his work rate was incredible, and his body work was even better. I thought think about the 6th round, in which Roman Gonzalez really started to go to the body, slowing Estrada down for the remainder of the fight, was the X factor in the minds of those that gave the fight to Roman Gonzalez. Now, if you gave the fight to Roman Gonzalez, I ain't mad at you. If you called this fight a draw, I ain't mad at you. Roman Gonzalez got hurt in that fight, y'all. I thought roughly in the 4th round, he got hurt in that fight. You know what I'm saying? Shit, man, through 6 rounds, I had to fight even. Through 10 rounds, I had to fight even. 11th round being a draw, 12th round being the deciding round. I don't know what the fuck the judges was watching in that fight. One judge scored it 118 to 110. No fucking way. The other 2 judges scored it 116 to 112, giving it to Roman Gonzalez. Hell of a fight. And take in mind, for that particular fight, Juan Estrada came down from 112 because the fight took place at the 108-pound division. And Juan Estrada came down from 112 to fight that fight at 108. and still put in a hell of a performance. Now, since that fight, Juan Estrada has went on and became a world champion. Has 2 titles. And he took those belts from the guy that Roman Gonzalez just beat, Brian Valora. Yet he beat a younger world champion version of Brian Valora. That was a hell of a fight too. And Roman Gonzalez, and he does have some credible names under his belt. So does Estrada. In his last 7 fights, they were all title defenses. He had both his belts on the line in his last 7 fights, in which he KO'd 5 of them. Yet Roman Gonzalez just holds the WBC, the prize green belt at 112. That one green belt. But at least Estrada has 2, and he wants to unify. That is the only that is the criticism that I had of Roman Gonzalez as of why he could not be my pound for pound number 1, folks. And you guys went off the fucking rails. But it was a hell of a fight, and I personally gave it to Estrada. I'm saying pound for pound number 1 champion. At one point or another through their career, they unified, folks. They unified. I mean, B-Hop did it. Floyd did it. Klitschko did it. You name it. Ward did it. You go back as far as you want. They unified. And that is something that Chocolito got to do. And this is a great opportunity. Now, according to Chocolito, according to the articles in the news that broke out, he'll take the fight as long as the purse is right. He fought Brian Valora, aging Brian Valora, and might I add. This guy Estrada is only 25 years old. But he fought Brian Valora for $250,000. But he said if he fights Estrada, he wants $1 to $2 million, which is totally understandable. It's a unification match. I don't think there should be a price. I think he should take it, in my opinion. Because, needless to say, the media has Chocolito as number 1 pound for pound. The media, HBO, and their influence, needing these stars. So they got them a star now and made him pound. But by most fans' accounts, though you may have him on your pound for pound list, you won't have him as number 1. And a fight like this, a unification match for all of the marbles, could be the one fight that can elevate this guy in most boxing minds as possibly the number 1 pound for pound champ. This is what I've been saying he needed, folks. He needs this fight. I honestly think he needs, evidently this number 1 pound for pound thing has boosted the ego of Chocolito, because now he feels as though he's worth much, much more money. And I understand. I do. I get it. But like I said before, you want to unify, take less money if it's offered. I'm sorry. If long as it's a respectable number, maybe $1 million, hell, maybe even 900,000. I think you should take it. Especially since it wasn't quite a clear-cut victory for Roman Gonzalez in their first fight back in 2012. I'm just sorry. I mean, I get it. I get it. You're number 1 pound for pound. I get it. You want to be treated as such. But the fact still remains, there's a bigger picture there. In the same way he took what he took for Valora, even though Valora was, like I said, 34 years old, and he wasn't the same Brian Valora that Juan Estrada beat. That wasn't the same Brian Valora, folks. Still, do what he got to do to really solidify himself as the number 1 pound for pound guy. Unify at that 112 division. Then possibly even look to move up after that point, because I don't think he'll have anything else to prove. But in my mind, I thought he lost to Estrada. Possibly a draw. Anyone who does give this fight to Roman Gonzalez will give it to him by 1 round. It wasn't a clear cut. There were little fine points that you had to give to each fight in order to determine the winner. I don't know. But I hope this fight gets made. I'd love to see this fight. They're talking about doing it sometime next year if it's possible. He's going to sit out the rest of the year. So if they can make this fight next year, early sometime next year, that'd be amazing. That'd be awesome. Put it on a good pay-per-view card. I mean, possibly. I don't know. Whatever good pay-per-view card they can come out with next year, if they could throw this on the undercard, that'd be great. Heyman should be looking at this fight. But I don't know, man. He does this. He beats Estrada, takes those titles. Then we can have a great conversation about him being number one pound for pound. What do you guys think? Let me know in my comment section. To the next video, Main Man Made Man. Don't forget to subscribe. Twitter, Made Man 511. Facebook, Main Man Made Man Boxing Forum. Folks, this would just tell me a lot if he takes this fight and he wins it. Let me know. And for those who ain't seen that fight, if you're a boxing fan, I challenge you to go back and watch that fight, man. That fight was amazing. All right, to the next video. Peace out.